A few years ago, I attended a family bat mitzvah in Richmond, Virginia, and the next morning I spoke at a United Methodist church. The minister at that church was the Methodist campus minister at the University of Virginia when I was the Hillel rabbi there, and we've remained friends ever since. Like our synagogue, their church has a weekly bulletin which is distributed at services. I was intrigued to discover that every week the church bulletin contains extensive financial and budget information. What the annual budget is, how much has been spent year to date, what last week's income was from donations, how much was taken out of the bank, and so on. Complete transparency. The congregation knows how much is spent, what it is spent on, what the congregation's needs are, and what financial shape the congregation is in. It was interesting to contrast this with the practice of many synagogues. In the congregation which I served prior to Kehilat Shalom, budget and financial documents were handed to board members during meetings and then collected again when the meeting was over. Regular synagogue members were not allowed to see any financial information. This week's Torah reading, Vayakhel-Pikudai, emphasizes the need for transparency in financial matters relating to the maintenance of our religious institutions. This reading concludes the book of Exodus. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs calls it the accountant's parashah because it begins with the audited accounts of the donations received and materials used in the construction of the tabernacle. In leap years, we read Pikudai along with the special Haftarah for Shabbat Shekalim. This year, actually, we read that Haftarah 4 weeks ago, since this is a regular and not a leap year. The Haftarah reading for Shabbat Shekalim from the book of 2 Kings describes a conflict which occurred between King Yoash and the priests over the use of donations to the temple. The priests were supposed to take any money donated and use it for repair and maintenance of the temple. Yoash discovered that while they were taking the money, they weren't making the repairs. When Yoash discovered this, he took responsibility for temple maintenance away from the priests. They could continue to receive the tithes which the Torah mandated, which were necessary for their own support. But free will donations for temple maintenance and repair were now to go specifically to trustworthy men appointed by the king to oversee that function. The Torah is quite clear on the need for transparency and accountability. When people are asked to give money, they have a right to know why the money is needed and how it is going to be spent. At times, leaders are afraid that such transparency will undermine the confidence of members or donors and make it harder to raise funds, but I believe the opposite is true. Greater transparency gives synagogue members more confidence that their money is being spent wisely. I believe that our synagogue has made great strides in this direction, and it is the right way to go.